I read I Heart Skullcrusher #1. This is from Boom Studios, written by Josie Campbell, art by Alessa Zano, colors by Angel Di Santiago, and letters by Jim Campbell. This is the coolest freaking comic book that you can buy at the shelves from this past week, as far as I'm concerned. The story is about a girl named Trini. She's 18 years old. She's orphaned and desperately in love with Skullcrusher, the best player of her favorite sport, screaming paintball. After a competition is announced that could allow Trini to join Skullcrusher's screaming paintball team, Trini decides she'll do anything to show off her skills to join the team and capture Skullcrusher's heart. Skullcrusher is like the most badass woman you've ever seen, and Trini is absolutely in love with her. This is like a post-apocalyptic world where water is scarce and violence is everyone's favorite pastime, but it's fine because it's sports. And that sounds almost like a really bad pitch for this comic, but I promise you, for every moment this comic feels bleak, it makes up for it 5 times over with like anime inspired, super corny and hilarious moments. This feels very like aimed at a slightly younger audience, just because it is a little bit more lighthearted and a little bit more wholesome than you would think a Mad Max style world usually would lend itself to. But again, it's I was smitten by Trini. She's such a fun character. She's like I think like a lot of the lightheartedness and fun of this book comes from the extremely excited and vibrant art of the comic. Like Alessio Zono and Angel Di Santiago do some incredible work in this comic. Zono's pencils give Trini this almost SpongeBob level dynamic feel, where like at any moment she could be bouncing around the panels of a page. And Di Santiago's colors add like a truly bright feeling to this entire story that in every other comic book that would take place in a similar setting would be dark and grim. So I appreciated that there was like this extreme lightheartedness and kind of just like teenage fun feeling to the entire book. And I really can't express though how funny this book is. Like there's one sequence in particular that I was like doubled over with laughter. They like lean into the heaviest of ridiculous like character going through their dream moment, anime inspired. It's drawn in a completely different style just to belabor the point of like how like crazy Trini is about this Skullcrusher character. I really, really loved it. I posted a screenshot of it on our Discord, so if you're not in our Discord, you should join that. There's a link in the show notes. But it's such a fun book. I was freaking out when I was reading. I was posting it to pretty much anyone that I know who reads comics, saying you have to go buy this. And I think Danny also read this book. Totally agrees with me. But yeah, sometimes I think though we need a comic that feels really fun and doesn't take itself too seriously, even if the like setting of the book could be taken very seriously. I think this book is exactly that. But again, despite the setting, the story doesn't really give you time to think about it too much as it bounces between story beats and really funny moments. I can't wait for the second issue because this book is so much fun. I don't like the $5 price point, but that is the cost of doing business in comics these days, it seems. But nonetheless, this is totally worth the price of admission. I think it's such a fun, like exciting book that I haven't felt like this enamored with in such a long time. So highly recommend I Heart Skullcrusher #1. It's so much fun.
It's really giving me like shonen sports anime vibes.
Yes.
Yeah. It definitely has that. Yeah.
It has a lot of those tropes where like the reluctant coach, like you run across that stuff.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Like just like Mike said, I want to emphasize how funny this is. I knew it was gonna be a little bit for a younger audience when I saw that it was from the Boombox imprint at Boom
Right.
Studios.
Right.
But I the cover was so cool that I was like, I don't care. I need to figure out what this skull. I need to know whose skull's being crushed in this book.
Right.
And boy, did we find out.
Yeah. And I didn't really get into the specifics. Like, there's a lot of really like interesting side characters
Yeah.
and just fun moments. I really think discovering them on your own is totally worth it. I think if you like kind of zanier books, you'll totally love this book. It works on all levels for me, and I can't recommend it enough.